Hello and welcome back, dear teachers of Arellano University. This time we are going to discuss how to create an exam, but this time this type of exam is called the short answer exam, or otherwise known as identification type of exam. So we are going to go through the steps again on how to format the questions for this particular exam. So you really have to pay attention on the specific format of the questions, or else the system will not be able to identify the questions that you want to ask or use in your exam. And this particular exam that we're going to create is different from the conventional way of doing this before, when the system has not yet been upgraded. So this will really expedite and make your creation of exam faster as compared to the process that we were using before. Okay, so if you were able to watch the first series of this exam under AUPLMS, or the Arellano University Pegasus Learning Management System, I was not able to include the setting of uh, the set of questions, importing it and setting it to the classification of the file, which is supposed to be under icon. So you have to classify the file when you import that. You use icon for multiple choice, and for true and false and short answer, you have to use the GIFT classification of file. But if you were able to attend the webinar conducted by PRN earlier today, and also the preceding days, they will again repeat this process to make sure that you classify the type of file that you're going to use when you import your questions. Anyway, I am going to show that to you later, but again, this particular part of the importing of the questions was not shown on the first video, which is under the multiple choice type of exam. But we are going to do that today. So, to start off, we are again going to begin with the creation of your questions. So you have the question bank on this side, and then you have the quiz on the other side. So the first process will always be the creation of the questions or your exam and putting it inside the question bank. So once the question bank has already the exam that you created, then that's the time that you can import these questions going to the exam and the specific class that you are going to use for that particular exam. So again, that is what we are going to do today. So to start off, I'm going to open my Notepad. So the word processing that we are using is Notepad, which is again available or embedded in your Windows operating system, or your Windows software or program. So you just look for Notepad and then you open that. And then, since we are going to create an identification type of exam or short answer exam, I already prepared this file. So I only have 3 questions, again, to make our discussion faster. So for identification type of exam, this is supposed to be the format that you're going to use. So take note of this format. You have the numbers, and then you have the question. And then after that, the use of the bracket. Instead of I think we instead of the parentheses, make sure you use the bracket, and then after the open bracket, you use the equal sign. But this is what I observed earlier when I was testing this format. Even without the equal sign, I was able to get the correct answer. So this is the first time I'm going to use the equal sign, but this is what was recommended by the administrators of our system earlier during the webinar, to use this format with the equal sign. And then this one is already the answer. The answer for this particular question, which is classified under short answer or identification. So it's as simple as that. You use the bracket, equal, and then the answer, and then this is the format for the question, and then you just include the numbers. Okay? So after this, you have to save. So I have already saved this. And then after this, you have to upload. I'm not going to save this anymore since we already have this file. Again, as I mentioned earlier, you have to upload that file to your question bank. The question bank, located on the left side of your screen, can be found at the bottom of the left side menu. Under administration, you have here question bank, as you can see. Okay, so again, what we are going to do right now is to upload the question that we made under Notepad to the question bank. So, a simple metaphor is you need to deposit something in order to withdraw something. So we are going to put our question in the question bank so that we can use it later during our creation of exam on our particular class. So I'm going to open this. I just click question bank, and this is what you're going to see. I'm just going to delete this because this is what I did earlier to test the format. Okay, so assuming that the question bank does not contain any exam or questions yet, so starting from blank. So this one is just the subject wherein you are working with. So this is correct. We are under elective 2, Monday, Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. So this is GCAS 13, yeah, GCAS 13, 1 to 3 p.m. So this is correct. The filter is by default. And then going to import, which is how we are going to place our exam inside the question bank. So earlier, I told you this was not mentioned or included in the discussion of the multiple choice, but during the webinar given by the administrators of our PLMS, or the Pegasus Learning Management System, they mentioned this. So do not forget to classify the file format. So for multiple choice, you use icon format. For short answers or identification type, you use the GIF format. GIF, literally a present, GIFT format. And then for true or false, you also need to use the GIF format. So again, I would like to reiterate, use icon format for multiple choice and use GIF or GIFT for short answer or true or false type of exam. So in this case, since we are doing an identification type or short answer type of exam, we are going to use the GIF format. Now, we need to upload the file. So importing questions from file. You choose a file. You just click choose a file. So we're going to look for the file. And then from this point, you just click upload a file. So again, you will be experiencing difficulties, technical difficulties like slowing down of your system. So you really need to be patient. So in this case, I click upload a file. So upload a file. From this point, go to choose file. So you have to search for the file that you want to upload. And remember, the name of the file that we used earlier for identification is short answer. So this is our file, and then I'll just click open. And then after that, save as. We can use the name identification. Okay. Wait, what happened? Save as identification. Okay, so after setting a name for the file, from short answer to identification. I'm going to click upload this file, and as you can see, no files were attached. Okay, we'll try again. Choose a file, and then click short answer, click open. This is what we did earlier. I think it was not able to, that it's already here, short answer.txt. Okay, so you have identification, upload this file. The file is already there. So all you need to do now, since the file has already been uploaded in this part of the question bank, we are still under the question bank, import questions from file. All you need to do now is click import, and then this would show you that the questions, the number of questions, importing 3 questions, and the questions themselves would be reflected from your screen. And then if these are correct, you just click continue. Okay, so after clicking continue, now you already have your questions inside your question bank. As you can see, this is our question bank. This is the subject where we placed our set of questions, and these are the questions. Okay, now, since our question bank already has a set of exam or questions for a particular exam, we go to the subject, which is GCAS 13, and then go to prelim. So I choose prelim because it's easier to scroll down instead of using final term. So since this is the last part, I'm going to place the quiz here. So I'm make sure again that you turn on this button so that you would be able to add an activity. But if you're already a previous user of the PLMS or the Pegasus Learning Management System, then you're already familiar with this. So after clicking the turn editing on button, you would be able to add an activity. So I'll just click add an activity or resource. These are the resources, and one of this is the quiz. So this will represent any type or any form of exam, whether it's a quiz or a major exam from prelim to final grading period. So this is what we're going to use. So I'm going to click quiz, and then after clicking quiz, so this is very standard to what you were doing before. So I'll just use a very basic name for our quiz. We're going to use quiz 1, and this is supposed to be where you encode or write place the instruction for the quiz, and then the timing, the date of the quiz, the duration of the quiz, minutes, hours, days, weeks. So I think this is just a maximum of one and a half hour to 3 hours, maximum of 3 hours. So after setting the parameters for the time, the grade, again, as I discussed earlier, you have to set the limitations of the number of attempts. The number of attempts. If you do not set the limitation for the number of attempts, the default will be unlimited. The meaning of this is that the students would be able to access this any time, any number of times that they want within the set time parameter of the exam. So if the exam is 1.5 hour, 3 hours, they can access this any unlimited number of access. But usually we set this to 1 attempt. But for considering or giving consideration to the situations of the students regarding their internet access, the availability of their gadgets, you can set this to 2 or 3. So this will be under the discretion of the teacher. Okay, now, after that, I think you don't need any settings, not unless you want to set a restriction access wherein the students will not be able to open the actual exam when the actual date, until the actual date has already come. Okay? So until the actual date has already arrived. So until then, the exam will be closed until this particular uh, set date has been satisfied. So this is how you set the date. So from July 19 and so on and so forth, okay? So you just click add the restriction and they will not be able to access that, not unless this has been satisfied. The condition has been satisfied. Now, if everything has been set, again, these are just the general settings for your quiz. Okay, you just click save and return to course. And then after clicking that, your quiz will now be reflected under the prelim term. And then under the prelim term, you have quiz 1. But again, as I said on the first video, this quiz does not have any questions yet. So in order to do that, you just click quiz. And then you will be diverted here to quiz 1. So this is supposed to be the instruction. And the number of attempts is already reflected there. And you are now going to add questions to your quiz. So you have already set your quiz. You are now going to import the questions from the question bank going to your quiz. So how do we do that? You click edit quiz. After edit quiz, you are going to the right side of your screen and look for the word add with a downward arrow. So this is add with a downward arrow. Click the arrow, and then you will see 3 options. Add a new question. The plus sign refers to add, or the word add, or add from question bank, add a random question. So we already have our questions in our question bank. So we are going to click add from question bank. Okay? So now our system will be opening our question bank, add from the question bank at the end. Okay? So this is the subject, and then these are the questions inside the question bank. So again, I usually click T so that you can all select the questions, or if you just want to include specific questions in your exam for this particular class, you can also opt or choose to select these particular questions. So in this case, I'm going to choose all of them, and then after deciding what questions should be included, you just click add selected questions to the quiz. Okay, after clicking that, our system will now include our questions to quiz number 1. But again, look at the right side. The numbers 1.00 refers to the points assigned to a particular question. So you can either change this to 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, or you can change the total. So we are just going to change the total from 10 to 3, since we only have 3 questions, and then I'll click save. So it's more efficient that way. Not unless you want to really set your questions. So in this case, to again expedite our discussion, I just change the total number to 3. Now, we are going to again check if the format, the content is correct. That's one. The second is if the answers are correct and if it coincides with the key that we set earlier. Okay, now this is already saved. So all you need to do is go to prelim term so that you would be able to access quiz 1. So it's already here. Now our PLMS has this feature wherein you can preview the exam that you created. So all you need to do is to click quiz 1, and then after that you can see the preview quiz button. Okay, so if you click this, you would be able to access and see the exam that you created. So in this case, we have 3 questions. Identification. We'll try to see if this is CAP sensitive or not. If I'm not mistaken, can we look at our notepad and then open short answer? And then as you can see, this is all small caps. We'll try to answer in capital letters and try to see if the system will still accept our answer. Okay, so again, we'll use all capital letters. So it is the bridge between the speaker and the listener. The bridge between the speaker and the listener is the medium. So it's in all caps, but the set key is in small caps. So to go to the next question, you just click next page. When you reach the end of your question, this will now change to finish attempt. Okay. Now on the second one, the process of transferring information from one person to another is called communication. Communication. So if you misspell, okay, I think if I'm not mistaken, we will be able to see earlier. If uh, you just um, use all caps or capitalize the first letter, then I believe that the system will accept it. But if you misspell your answer, that's the time that it won't be able to accept your answer. So we'll try to see. Okay, we are going to intentionally misspell communication. So we'll just use just one N, communication. So that's an incorrect spelling. We'll try to see if the system would be able to identify that. So we're going to go to the next page and then try to answer this correctly. The etymology of the word verbal is verbum or verbo or verbalis. So in this case, I set it to verbum. So this is correct. The only difference is that it's in all capital letters. And then again, as I told you earlier, instead of next page, this will now turn to finish attempt. Uh, uh, eh, uh, Indicating that this is already the last question for this particular exam. So I'll click finish attempt and then we'll try to see. So the answers are saved. And then if they have 3 attempts, they can return to the question, to the exam, and check or change their answer. So that's the relevance of setting the number of attempts. Okay? So if they are still within the parameters of the time limit of the exam, then they can still go back to the exam and change their answer. Okay? But if not, the time has already expired, they won't be able to access it anymore. Again, if the attempt is set only to 1, they will only have 1 attempt and will not be able to access the exam anymore. Now, since we are not going to change our answers anymore, I'm going to click submit all and finish. And then for confirmation, submit all and finish, just click it again. And then let's try to see 2 out of 3. So which particular question did we commit an error? So here, the correct answer is medium because as you can see on the left side of this particular screen, we have 1 out of 1. Here, on question number 2, incorrect. So it is already indicated if this is correct or incorrect. And the mark also is reflective of the result. The mark is 0 out of 1. So communication is wrong because the spelling is wrong. So we can conclude that even if you use small letters or capital letters, as long as the spelling is correct, the system will accept that. Okay? So again, on the last one, this is correct, verbum. Okay, so after this, you can finish review. Again, we are just previewing the exam. You can check your exam by using the preview feature. And then after that, you finish review. And then that is the final result of your exam. So I hope, again, dear Arellano University teachers, that you were able to update yourself regarding our LMS or our PLMS, our Pegasus Learning Management System, regarding this process of making an exam faster, expediting the process of exam creation using our learning management system. So again, thank you very much for joining me in this discussion. And we have one more discussion, which is the creation of true or false. Again, it will have a different format, specifically in creating the questions using Notepad, and then after that, the rest of the process is the same. So I hope you join me on that particular discussion of our video. Stay safe and God bless. See you on the next video. Bye and thank you.